everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Chelsea, and today we're going to be covering almost all of the gear that I'll be bringing along with me when I leave for the Continental Divide Trail here in just a couple of months. Let's get into it. Alright everyone, so the reason that I say we're going to cover almost all of my gear is because I'm probably 90 to 95% dialed in, but there are still a few pieces that I'm waiting on to come in the mail and some things that I haven't quite decided on just yet, and I'm still doing some more research. If this is your first video, hi, welcome. Yeah, I'll be leaving Nobo in April. It's a little muddy where I'm sitting, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started with what's on the outside of my pack here. So we're gonna do a bit of a haul out. I'm gonna get out my Gossamer Gear pad, and I am gonna sit on that, rest my knees on it. To start, I got this light AF fanny pack. I got it for Christmas. I was very thankful for it. It's super cute. It's got succulents on it. I really liked about the Light AF brand that you could put your phone here. They have an internal pocket. It's completely seam sealed to be waterproof. I've got my little pouch here from FlowFold that I'll keep all of my cards in. And then of course, this will just be for quick access things. Battery banks, phones, headphones, snacks, things like that. But I love this. It's adjustable. Fits great. For my backpack, I went ahead and went with the Durston Kakwa 55. And I hadn't carried a Durston before, but of course I bought one of his tents and saw this online and wanted to give it a try. I've taken it on a couple of hikes in the fall, and it's worked really well. It's my first frameless pack without any mesh, so that was interesting to get used to. And then also, his packs do not come with ice axe loops and trekking pole loops, so I'll need to add those on as well. The Kakwa 55 is great. It has a lot of room. It has a lot of good pockets. I'm used to carrying the REI Flash 55, and I love that backpack. And to be honest, I have toyed with actually starting with that pack just because I love it so much, and I've been carrying it for a couple of years now, and it fits everything so great. This pack is a little bit smaller. It tapers down towards the end a little bit more than the REI Flash, so I've found that I'm able to get a little bit more, especially as we get into the pack and I show you the Hyperlight Mountain Gear pods, the pod system that I bought. It actually works better in the REI Flash 55, but we're gonna try this one and see how it goes, and if there's something I want to change out on trail, of course I can always have my family send that out to me. But for now, it seems to work great, and it has all the different pockets and things that I would want to use. The Gossamer Gear umbrella will be great, so I've been told and heard from watching other hikers that have done the trail, because you're pretty much constantly exposed, especially in the desert, and then, you know, above tree line the rest of the trail. So I think that's going to come in handy. My Black Diamond trekking poles, the Pursuit. I know these are not the lightest weight trekking poles on the market by far, but I actually had, I can't remember if they were the Pursuit. I think they actually went, they got discontinued. I loved them. I had them forever. They had the cork handles, and I actually left them at a trailhead in Arkansas in the fall and did not realize that I had done that until I was going to pack for my next hike, and then realized that I did, and there was nothing wrong with them. So I actually had just invested in these before I had decided to officially hike the CDT. I use my trekking poles the entire time I hike just because I deal with hand swelling, and if I keep these in my hands the whole time, it really helps to reduce that swelling. These are the tent stakes and the poles to the Big Agnes tent. So that's what I'm going to start with, unless I change my mind. But I think that's what I'm going to start with. And then I have the groundhog, the mini groundhog. I have all mini groundhogs, and then I think I have 2 of the regular size groundhogs just for the tent doors, the fly doors, because they tend to need a little bit more support. My Shama sandals, these are a little heavy. You're going to check out my lighter pack and you're going to go, Chelsea, why? I got the ones that you are good to hike in, because I either walk barefoot or love to wear these shoes just around where I live to go on walks and things like that, and it's quite rocky where I'm at. They're not paved roads, and so I have loved these so much, and they're so durable, and I just want something that I'll be able to go in the water with, that I can walk around camp in, and if there's ever a time where I'm just over my trail runners, that I'll be able to walk in these without getting injured. So same thing here. I've invested in a lot of new gear, as people do before they go on a through hike, and it's been expensive, and there's just certain things that while they are a little heavier, they work perfectly fine. They're in really good shape, and I'm just not going to swap them out right now. It's just not a priority. So this actually has been, I think, redone by REI. This was something I bought 4 or 5 years ago. It's Gore-Tex. It does not have zips, unfortunately, but it is what it is. It's a great jacket, and it's held up really well for me. I've walked hours and hours in the rain, and it's done perfect. I've never actually invested in rain pants because I typically am wearing the Arc'teryx Gamma pant, and they repel water pretty well, and I tend not to go out on trips where I know that I'm going to be walking in rain for days and days, just because as a recreational backpacker, why, when you could just pick a better weather window? But you know, when you're out through hiking, you can't control that, and there will be times of downpours. So again, these are not the lightest, but they're the Marmot Eco Shell something pants, and they've got the zips up to about the mid-calf area. I was able to get them on over my pants and over my shoes, and just, you know, little things that I'll take: my hygiene kit, ultralight shovel, a couple of wipes, and then on this pocket, I don't have my water bottles with me today, but just a couple of 1-liter water bottles that everybody carries, the Sawyer filter, my CNOC bag. I love this bag, so I'll be able to carry up to, let's see, 2 liters, and then 2, 4, 5, probably 4 to 5 liters of water, which will probably be a little more than I need, but I would rather have more than less. Around front, of course, I won't need my bear spray the whole time, but I do have it ready to go when I get to that part of the trail, and then the Garmin Mini inReach. I don't have any food or anything in here, of course, but I do still have quite a bit of room up top to put all of my food, and then I have lots of pockets on the side that I'll be able to store snacks, and then of course my fanny pack. I don't have a food bag necessarily nailed down yet. Of course, when I get to the parts of trail that require bear safety, I will be carrying the Ursack. I think this is an Ursack Mighty. This is going to be more than enough room for what I need. I'll be carrying this, and then I will have some rope to be able to do bear hangs when I need to. So this will be for that part of trail. When I'm not on that part of trail, I'll probably just be carrying a Dyneema food sack. Don't have that just yet, but that'll probably be what I start with and have the majority of the time when I don't need a bear sack. And then the greatest system of all time for anyone with OCD and who loves organization, that is me. And when I saw these, I was like, this is amazing. And what I love about them, they're kind of noisy, is they stack, and they are D-shaped. So they fit flush against the back, and then they have the rounded front, so it goes perfect on the outside, and they're just stackable. And when you compress them, they, you know, lose the air, and they're completely water sealed, seam sealed, waterproof. I just love it because you can put all the random ditties that you have in one, as you'll see. Bag 2 has my entire sleep system and my tent, and bag 3 fits my quilt. So when I saw this and the way that they stack, and it's just so easy to know exactly what's in one, you know, they're see-through. At the bottom, I am just carrying an op sack, and this will actually be what I keep my spare clothes in. So things like my mid layers, my sleep clothes, underwear, socks, those will go in here, and they'll go at the very bottom of my bag. This is a Zen Bivy. This is their normal quilt. I'm not going to fully get it out, but I bought this a couple of years ago. It's not ultralight. It's a little bit on the heavier side, but it is so warm. And I'm a person that sleeps cold. I'm a side sleeper, so this half of my body, whatever's, you know, up in the air, is usually so cold. And I just love the Zen Bivy so much. And so what I loved about this is because these are waterproof and you can push the air out, I can know that in the morning when I'm packing up my gear, that this stuff is going to stay dry without me having to have a separate bag for this, separate sack for this, and roll it down with these types of things. I can just put it in here, and I know it's safe and secure. And then this one will hold my tent, my sleep pad, and my pillow. Same thing here. If the tent is wet and, you know, I don't have time to dry it out, or I'm not in a spot where the sun is, I can just throw it in here, and the rest of my gear is going to be completely dry when I pull it out. I'll be starting with the Nemo Tensor insulated tensor pad. Last fall I did get the Xped Mega Pillow, and so it is quite wide. It's thick, and it meets that negative space between my neck and my head, and I've loved sleeping with it so far. So in here is just all of the rain fly, the actual tent body, and then my footprint. So again, it fits perfectly in here with all of this. Okay, last but not least, the ditty bag. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of room in here. Originally, my plan was to use this third one for my clothes bag, but then when I figured I'm not really going to have a ton of extra clothes, it'll just be, you know, my sleep clothes and change of underwear and socks. It's not going to take up that much space. It's going to fit in an knapsack because I tested it. So I was like, oh, this will be great for, you know, all the little ditties and extra food, you know, things like that. So my pot is another TBD item on if I'm actually going to be bringing this. I've seen some other versions, Thru-Hikers, Renee and Tim. I love their setup. It's like a hybrid between the Toke pot and a jet boil, and it just holds so much more water. And I am going to be someone who is dehydrating a lot of my food and bringing it out on trail, and so I don't want to just depend on having enough water for the bag. So this is perfect for me when I go out on my 3 to 5 day trips. It's got lots of room, but I may want to change this out. I've been using the MSR Pocket Rocket for years. I've probably had this for 5 years and it's never failed on me. My Sea to Summit spork with the UL toothbrush. I just love this. I mean, I couldn't get over it. Like, you know, a hiker designed this. You just do. It's amazing. Little things, toothpaste tablets, soap, you know, a little Swiss Army knife, earplugs. I think one of the things I'm most scared for on trail is that I'm a person who sleeps with a lot of noise. I sleep with fans and air conditioners and air filters and all kinds of things. And so I cannot sleep in silence. And I've really struggled with that in backpacking. Anytime there's no wind and it's just silence, any little thing that happens in the woods, I can hear, and it doesn't scare me, but I just can't unhear it, and it just keeps me awake, and I'm a very, very light sleeper. So I invested in several pairs of these little earplugs, and we're gonna see if they help me. I mean, this is obviously like uber silence, but I'm wondering, like, is uber silence better than hearing little crunching things in the woods and keeping me awake, or people moving in their tents? I don't know. So we'll see. Here's my cordage for my bear hang and this awesome little dog bone. So I have a story for everyone. If there's anybody out there that struggles with spatial reasoning and tying knots, let's form a club, because that is me. I actually went to a bear hang class at my local REI. I was looking to learn how to tie certain knots, to do certain hangs, and guys, let me tell you, it was bad. I was, the only person who showed up to this class, so I had the instructor's full attention, and he was very sweet, very kind, and he was trying to teach me how to tie a bowline knot. And I struggle with, even like when I do yoga and Pilates classes, like watching the instructor in the mirror, it's like a reversed flip thing. My mind just cannot process what's going on. So he was tying the bowline knot in front of me. So I'm like watching him, but it's in reverse, right? Because your mind flips the image, then you're flipping the image. It was just a mess. So very sweet. He was like, he came around to my side to like show me, and then like did it with me a bunch of times. He was like, no, before you leave, you're going to get it. And I'm like, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get it. God bless Apex Giant for making things like this. Now, again, this is very specific situations. So like the PCT hang, this is going to work really well. There will be times that I'm going to have to learn how to do these knots, but you know, I'm just going to let go and let God, and just hope that when I'm on trail, there's somebody with me that can help me and teach me in the build, because y'all, I have tried. My headlamp, I switched out last fall to the Nightcore Ultralight. I love it. It's got the red light and two high and low beams for the normal light. Just little things, you know, my kit, my first aid kit, a little fire backup if I ever need it, my Nightcore 10,000 milliamp battery, and I'm not going to be bringing any crazy equipment with me. It'll just be my phone, my headlamp, and my watch, which I'll talk about here in a second. Now that we've covered most of the gear that I'll be bringing, I just want to quickly touch on clothes for anyone that's interested. starting with my shoes. So these are the Topo Pursuits. This is the first version. And I'm currently wearing another pair of the first version. I struggled with boots for so long, and so I bought the Pursuits, and I actually still have my first pair, and I wore them, like the lugs are gone, like they are worn. I love those shoes so much. And so I was able to find another pair pretty quickly last year. Then I went to buy, you know, some new pairs. I wanted to kind of stock up before the hike, and they have redone them. Now, this is the Pursuit 1. I do have the Pursuit 2 as well. I didn't bring that out with me, but there is a difference. They have definitely changed. In the Pursuit 2, I just noticed this has been shaved a little, and this seems to feel a little bit more cushiony, which I'm not going to complain about, especially doing a Thru-Hike. I think you need all the cushion you can get, but TBD. I'll do a more thorough review probably in northern New Mexico, southern Colorado, because that's when I'll probably be changing out into that pair of shoes. These are the Arc'teryx Gamma Pant, and I love them so much, and they are perfect for shoulder season, cold weather season, but they are not great for any time it's like above 70. I typically run warmer when I hike, so I do not like to be hot at all when I'm hiking. It's just not for me. I just don't perform as well. And so these are so great. I love them because they come in talls. Shout out to all my long-legged gals. I am all leg. Like, my torso is maybe this big. So I'm very sad that I will not be able to utilize these through most of the hike. Maybe in Colorado I could use these. Also, not wanting to be hot, I do see the appeal of wearing shorts on certain parts of this Thru-Hike. So still tinkering with the main, whether I'm going to be wearing pants or like a hybrid of pants and shorts. I have a bunch of these, sorry, the mic, REI sun hoodies. This is what I have always worn. I know they're synthetic and probably not going to smell the best, but I love them, and I have 3 of them, so it just is not worth going and buying something else just because it's UL or because it's wool or whatever. So I have plenty of these to change out if I need to along the trail in different colors. This is the hoodie, the Alpha Direct hoodie that I talked about, so this will be my mid layer. And then for my jacket, that is something that I'm also in the process of switching out. This is a Fjallraven, the Expedition series. This is actually a men's because for some reason my local REI does not stock Fjallraven female gear, which if you're listening, REI, please update. Why is there no female representation in the store for Fjallraven? I don't know. So I had to buy the men's version, which I'm a curvy gal, so the men's version is not great because I typically have to tuck the bottom part of it. So I'm losing like this much of the jacket just in having to tuck it under so that it doesn't fit so tightly around my hips. But I love this jacket. It is so warm. I've had it for 4 years. I bought it for a winter hiking trip and it kept me alive. Like, I love it. However, I did not realize how heavy it was. Of course, I wouldn't need this for the entire trail. It wouldn't be coming along with me, but the parts that I do need a jacket for and want that extra outer layer besides my rain jacket, this ain't it, even though I do love it very much. I love Fjallraven products. But the jacket, also TBD. So top, jacket, pants TBD, shoes, I have a bunch of the darn tough merino wool socks that I'll be bringing. And then for sleepwear, I may bring a pair of lightweight like yoga shorts. I've been looking for the Alpha Direct pants because I think that would be a really great thing to sleep in and just have this be my nighttime uniform, if you will, and then I can wear it in the morning if I need to if it's chilly, but they are all sold out. So if I cannot find those, it'll probably be something like that that I can also wear in town on laundry days. I am going to be bringing with me the Suunto Vertical. I did so much watch research for this hike, and I've just always had an Apple Watch, and those have done just fine for me on the trips that I've gone on. They do tend to suck a lot of battery, and so it is something you have to think about when you're talking about power supply and being able to recharge. So I was doing my research, and I was really torn between some of the Garmin options, and then I found Suunto. What I love about this watch is that it's completely solar rechargeable, and it's harvesting solar right now as we speak. It has the longest battery life of watches available, or at least when I was researching this a couple of months ago. It can stay charged for days and days and days. I have had this watch for almost 3 months, and I've only charged it twice. Insane, the amount of battery life, and that's just another peace of mind that I want to have on trail and not having to think about recharging it all the time. It does come with an app. I can download state maps in bulk. I can do navigation planning. I've already loaded the GPX maps for the CDT in this watch, so it's on there, and I will let you guys know how it performs on trail, but so far I'm really happy with it. All right, so this covers everything. If there was anything that I talked about, it's going to be in my lighter pack link, which you can find in the description below. If you have any questions about any of my gear, I'd be happy to answer them. Leave a comment, and I will get back to you. Otherwise, I'd really appreciate if you could like and subscribe. That really helps me out, and I will catch you on the next one. Thanks so much.